If you're looking for an edge, if you're looking for an opportunity to get into crypto in a risk controlled way,
Mm-hmm.
or you're looking for an edge,
Yeah.
this is it.
Kind of go back to the very beginning, the foundation of why we started this. Let's just first give our viewers an idea of what trend is, why it even has a place in crypto.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, trend isn't anything new, actually. So, in all markets, in all of history, essentially, there has been trending behavior. And what that means is when price goes up, it tends to continue to go up. When price goes down, it continues to go down. I think this was really popularized in the 80s by the turtle traders. So this one guy, he was a successful trader, and his idea was, I bet I could teach just about anybody how to trade. So I think he sent out surveys with like questionnaires on like true or false questions and etc. And he picked about 15 people, and he taught them all how to trade like a simple rule-based system that they would just follow day in, day out. And he funded them with, I think, a few $100,000 each. And then cumulatively, they made, I think, around $150 million in like, I think, a span of a decade or so. And this was just applying the techniques of trend following,
Mm-hmm.
essentially. Um, that I'd say popularized it. And then since then, in traditional finance markets, it's been used ever since as like a tried and true strategy. And just recently, not like last few years, crypto's pretty new, and crypto is just as much of a market as anything else, and it exhibits insane trend characteristics where if it goes up, it'll continue to go up. If it goes down, it'll
Mm-hmm.
continue to go down. So it's just a new avenue to take advantage of this age-old strategy.
Yeah. And one thing that we really noticed is the volatility in crypto. That's really why trend even works in the first place. You mentioned before, like when a market is flat, it won't trend. Like you need
Yeah.
the assets to go up and down. So tell us a little bit about, I guess, the transition from taking this like tried and true systematic strategy and why specifically in crypto, like what are we looking at on our end with our 20 assets that we've chosen?
Yeah. Um, so for crypto specifically, you need volatility. You need price movement in order to make money. You know, if market's flat, as you said,
Mm-hmm.
you won't make a dime. It doesn't matter how good your trend strategy is,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like the best mathematicians in the world couldn't make trend work if price is literally going sideways,
Yeah.
right? And luckily for crypto, it's extremely volatile, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like compared to regular stocks, most commodities, like any market people can think of, it's much more volatile.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings in, you know, which markets or which cryptos do you even trade? Like, do you trade the most volatile ones?
Mm-hmm.
Do you trade the smallest ones, etc.? Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And what we found at Crypto Trend System is it really only works best on the biggest crypto market. So, you know, the top 20, top 50, top 100, it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty solid. And each coin that's a little smaller market cap, historically, it is less trendy and it's more prone to, you know, mean revert or the classic. I think everybody knows this tale is like the smallest coins, the pump and dumps,
Mm-hmm.
those exhibit opposite trending techniques
Mm-hmm.
or trending effects. They go up and then they go right back down to zero. You
Yeah.
know, you can't trade trend on those.
Mm-hmm.
So we've chosen, we choose the top 20 every month for our
Mm-hmm.
strategy based off of like market cap and volume and liquidity.
Mm-hmm. And there's like me personally, I'm curious as to why
Yeah.
you decided to choose trend as the option, but there's a lot of
Hmm.
different systematic trading options
Yes.
out there. And what was it that sparked your interest in trend specifically?
I think one of the big appeals of trend for any, like if you want to do it yourself or, because that's kind of the background I was coming from is I was trading a lot of intraday stuff like day trading, and I was looking for an edge.
Mm-hmm.
And trend following is one of the simplest edges to implement, even on your own or
Mm-hmm.
like within, a fund or whatever. It's a very basic strategy, but that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean it can't be improved upon. And, you can find even more alpha. The more you do it, the more you improve at it, like on your strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing that appealed to me was literally it's just a proven edge.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants an edge,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this is something then you can then adapt, personalize, and expand on from there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what brought my attention to it was, well, it's been working for literally thousands of years. Like the first price records exhibit a trend. Like it's not going away.
Yeah.
Um, that's what really got my full attention of it.
Mm. And like you were a day trader yourself for quite some time.
Oh, definitely.
I personally veered away from it because I mostly would come across, like, we used to live together, and I'd come across to his room
Hmm.
and just see him, stressing out and tweaking out about his trades. And he'd be watching like a video every single time I'd go in. And I saw the immense amount of work and the amount of passion you had for this. And I realized like my passion certainly wasn't there for doing day trading. And I knew I wasn't going to ever have the same sort of work ethic that you put towards trading. So just to kind of give a message to the traders out there, why should they go from day trading to,
So
listening to
yeah,
you about systematic trend opportunities?
this is really cool because first, when you're day trading properly, it's really boring. You're staring at screens
Mm-hmm.
all day, like waiting
Yeah,
for your
yeah.
thing to happen, ideally. And then there's also a ton of emotions that get involved, especially when like you're uncertain about your edge or like, it's not performing as well as you'd like. There are a lot of things that can happen there. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you're day trading, you give yourself a lot of rope to hang yourself with,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
That's just the fact. But with trading systematically,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't all my trades are performed automatically, but I
Mm-hmm.
still put in the same amount of work. It's
Mm-hmm.
just into research and analysis instead, which is much more hands-on,
Mm-hmm.
much more I find fulfilling than just watching a ticker to
Yeah.
trade every day and trying to like get that screen time in that way,
Mm-hmm.
right? I still do watch the
Mm-hmm.
charts, don't get me wrong. Those still interest me, but like trading systematically, it's a whole different world than just like staring and looking at
Yeah.
candlestick charts. You can learn so much more and actually develop um, useful, transferable skills,
Mm-hmm.
even,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So I'd say that.
Yeah, that's interesting because like to go back to the journey of how we got here, like you put your time and focus into trading at the time, maybe back in like
Yep.
what was it, like 2020 when we are living together, 2019, 2020, something like that.
Yep.
And um like for me, I put a lot of my energy into learning about crypto at first, not necessarily investing
Hmm.
in it, and then putting really small allocations that eventually, grew into more confidence and understanding what assets that I wanted to buy. And
Yep.
it's interesting how we came here because for me, like for you just explain your journey, but for me, I also had a lot of learning curve during that process. It went from, buying like a little bit of Bitcoin, dabbling in some Sol, a little bit of ETH, getting burned
Yep.
by Luna, learning about that, like maybe not everything is profitable. Um, and then this kind of like midway point of coming back together and realizing like, hey, like systematic trading works. crypto is
Yep.
obviously gonna grow, and like bringing those two knowledge bases together and applying a concept that we both particularly enjoy, which is freeing up our time and allowing the money to work for us. And I think that's kind of,
Definitely.
yeah, quite beautiful how that all came together. And I mean,
I agree.
in
Like
general, yeah.
you put a lot of effort into researching like individual cryptos and blockchains,
Mm-hmm.
like reading what they do, how they function, and extrapolating out, use cases and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. That never interested me as much.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, how do I pick a winning crypto
Yeah.
if like I can't like some things it's like maybe it's a minute difference in the white paper that make or breaks it, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Luna,
Mm-hmm.
like that collapse
Yeah.
was like obviously a learning experience, but like people predicted that and like I was never the guy to read that and have a thesis and then trade off of it. So
Mm-hmm.
trend was the best avenue to get into the crypto game because
Yeah.
I choose my assets systematically off of a set of criteria
Mm-hmm.
and that works really well.
Yeah. And like I'm still very happy that I did all that time and research, and I put like an
Yeah.
immense amount of hours, particularly because we're working on a blockchain project at the time through Ada,
Yeah.
the Cardano blockchain, and I needed that solid knowledge base to have confidence
Hmm.
in making my own investments in crypto, and I've done like really well for myself despite making all those mistakes. But all of those mistakes could have been avoided if I had trust in a
Yeah.
systematic trend system, rather than, you know, trusting myself and my knowledge base and the things that I might mess up. Um, it, really does make a world of difference. And I think what we are very lucky to have here is both of our backgrounds and experiences coming together to bring a product that, originally had no intention of, bringing to you guys. It's really just Quinn and his own mind being like, "Hey, like I'm gonna make this thing that like trades for me," and then the
So
discussion
yeah,
kind
what
of
I
developed.
realized
Yeah.
was like, yeah, 100%. What I realized was like my best like quarters
Mm-hmm.
trading, like my most successful ones, because I had a good run,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where it's day in, day out. All my hours of the day are sunk into it in the morning, before work, after work, weekends, etc.
Yeah.
It's a grind. It's
Mm-hmm.
a grind. And my best quarters still got outbeat by an automatic trend system,
And you're not an
right? And
idiot.
now
Like you put in a ton of
so,
work.
so
Yeah.
like even like my very profitable months, right? Because I didn't go balls to the walls on like sizing. Like I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
going for, you know, 1,000% in a year, not even close to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like 10, 20% in a quarter was like fantastic,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? And trend blows it out of the water. So it's
Yeah.
time better spent for me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a nice little window where I think, all the big players aren't in yet. This edge is alive and well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's just ripe for retail investors to participate in and capitalize off of.
Yeah. So I mean, we had this whole discussion just before this podcast.
Yeah.
But like, in your mind right now, like, who do you want this message to reach? Like, if you're listening to this video, you're hoping it's this person,
And
and I'll
I
I'll
would
answer after you.
say,
Yeah.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure, I would say, like, you want to get into crypto. Like, you're interested, maybe you have some, but like, you don't even know where to begin
Mm-hmm.
or start, or like, you have started like trading, investing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm not even saying get crypto trend system, do trend yourself if you have all the time in the world,
Yeah.
right? But literally, like, this is an edge. If you're looking for an edge, if you're looking for an opportunity to get into crypto in a risk controlled way,
Mm-hmm.
or you're looking for an edge,
Yeah.
this is it
Would you mind like I'll answer first, but
for
as
sure.
I'm talking, I'll let you like maybe pull up some charts and then dive deeper into why there is an edge because as we very
Yep.
well know, there's tons of content creators out there that are gonna go and be like, "This is what you should buy. Buy this coin right now," or like, "Listen to
Yeah.
me." Like, have you seen those videos of the people drawing on a whiteboard?
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like they're like tapping on the screen, and be like, "You sell here, buy here." Like,
Yeah.
we're not saying that
No.
whatsoever. And I want to explain why instead of just telling you that there is an edge. And I'll let Quinn do that. But first, I'll answer like for me. There's like two people in particular that I think could really benefit from CTS. One, as you mentioned, is like someone with a trading experience. They've have a good understanding of it, and they really would like to find an edge in the market. And I won't go over everything you just said. You said it beautifully. But the other person I really would love for them to watch this conversation is someone who is a professional in their field, and it has absolutely nothing to do with crypto, absolutely nothing to do with trading. You just want to use your income that you've gained and put it in a system where you don't need to put any more of your time into. You have a family, you have interests, maybe you have a strong desire and passion to pursue a career. Like, that is fantastic. I don't want you to spend hours and hours learning about trading, hours and hours learning about crypto the way Quinn and I did. Like, I want you to keep doing the things you're doing and hopefully have trust in a system of your own that you can just put money away and forget about it and
Let it
be yeah,
compound,
exactly, yeah.
right? Um, like overall, my theory is I think Bitcoin will hit gold market cap.
I agree.
That's just my.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how the path it's going to take to
Mm-hmm.
do that.
Yeah.
Like, in theory, could you see a 60% drawdown on Bitcoin at some point before we get there? Sure. Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know the future, but like,
Mm-hmm.
I think the my kind of target in mind over the next however many years
Mm-hmm.
is that.
Mm-hmm.
So, going off that thesis, I'm really okay.
Yeah.
Continue to trend following for the next, for the very long foreseeable future.
Yeah. I mean, we joke about this all the time, but trend is so boring. Like, there's nothing exciting about this. Like, trading is exciting. You get an immense amount of adrenaline when you're like, yeah, let's go. I made
Yeah.
this trade. Like, I'm a genius. Same with crypto. When I'm like, when I spotted, Bitcoin before it went up and I like made a good 2K off of that, I was like, yes, like, I'm so smart. Like, I did this myself. I don't really get that feeling from Trend, to be honest. It's pretty boring, but it works. And I'm all right with that. And you have to be kind of all right with that with your money too, sometimes.
Definitely. I can get into that a bit actually.
Yeah.
So real trading
Mm-hmm.
is actually pretty fucking boring. I work on a physical commodities trading floor. It's not very like, it's no
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
speculative positions,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's just arbing oil, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's not like this hype adrenaline dumps every day, highs
Yeah.
and lows,
It's not your Wolf of Wall
right?
Street situation.
Not even close. And if your trading is like that, you probably have a bad gambling habit and you're taking on way too much risk and leverage,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And so maybe go to DraftKings or something, Poly Market. Um, Trend, that's okay. What other reason? Like why does Trend work?
Mm-hmm.
It's because it is an edge. Full transparency, it's a weak edge. It's better than a coin flip,
Mm-hmm.
right? It is very boring in terms of 70%, 80% of the days in a trading year, you don't make money.
Yeah.
You don't. It just kind of it's flat for the most part. Like a ideal equity curve
Mm-hmm.
is like a straight line up and then it goes like sideways and then maybe 6 months later it's another straight line up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you have to be invested for the long term for it to really work.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real timing of trends,
Yeah.
right? You got to commit. If you're pick any given month of trend,
Mhm.
like if you trade it for 1 month, you probably won't make money.
Yeah,
But you do
yeah,
it
yeah.
for a year, you do it for 2, 3, that's where the returns really start stacking, right?
Mhm.
So it's almost like frustrating
Mhm.
in that way, and that's kind of like because there's no free lunch. There's no
Mhm.
free lunch in this game.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I'm not gonna sell you like or tell you I unlocked like a secret method that's printing free money. I mean, you know what I mean? It's pretty
Yeah.
close to it, but it's just boring.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just boring. And you can get paid for being boring. You know, that's one thing I wanna. You can in this business,
Yeah.
you can be right,
Mhm.
right, fulfill like satisfy your ego,
Mhm.
or you can make money.
Yeah.
Those are two different things.
Mhm.
If you want to just feel good, feel smart,
Mhm.
you can do that and not make a dime. You lose everything, or you can just make money. You know, those two things don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Nah, you're
yeah,
completely right.
yeah,
Uh, no, you hit it right on the dot. And like to kind of, I guess this is a bit of a bridge transition, but
for
earlier you
sure.
were talking about like the growth of Bitcoin. You think it's going to catch up to gold. Outside of Bitcoin alone, like I read something the other day that ETH, and believe
Hmm.
me, you can go back and watch the other episodes. I'm not a fan of ETH at all. I really am not. It's like one of the altcoins that I'm particularly like kind of have a grudge over. But that being said, because Trend is completely emotionless, ETH has actually become the fastest asset in history to reach $500 billion market cap, or market cap, yeah,
So
outpacing the growth of like even the largest corporations, any largest assets. So they're faster than ExxonMobil, PetroChina, even Bitcoin, Meta, Tesla, Google, Tencent in China, Amazon, like all of these. Ethereum hit 500 billion in 5.8 years, faster than anyone else. And I can
it's
pull up a
incredible.
chart.
So
Yeah.
anyone who's a repeat watcher knows we were shitting on Ethereum at the lows.
Yeah.
However, however that may be the case,
Mm-hmm.
I still made money longing Ethereum because I systematically chose, you know what I mean? I did not
Mm-hmm.
touch it. I didn't, none of my discretionary speculative thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I did not let that affect the trading system.
Yeah.
So we caught the long on Ethereum for the
Yep.
trend and momentum trading,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been a huge performer
Oh, it's been like one of the
this
best
last couple
ones.
months.
Yeah, it's been
So
such a winner. Yeah.
that's a perfect reason why you go systematic, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, especially in my field, like if you
Yep.
took me like a year ago when I'm heavily invested in putting hours and hours every single day learning about like why I should build this application on Cardano instead of on the Ethereum network, how expensive it's going to be, all this stuff. Like I was moving money out of Ethereum to put it into like ADA, XRP, HBAR, things like this. And
Yep.
if I was still doing that today, we I wouldn't I'd be kicking myself. And it's purely like emotion and opinion driven, you know? And not even like all emotion. Like I had very logical reasons as to like why I came to those conclusions. Yet
Yep.
because of like a systematic approach, we're still able to capture on things that I personally am not a huge fan of at all.
Not
Yeah.
a fan.
Yeah. I just pulled up the thing I read earlier about like fastest access to 500 billion here. So you
Yeah,
have
that's
ETH at
crazy. I didn't know that.
5.8. Yeah, it's super fascinating. Like think about the monster Apple is today, you know? And it took
Yeah.
them 35.9 years to get to 500 billion.
100 billion.
Yeah.
It's pretty huge, man.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I don't know
just for
what's
context,
what it's gonna beat that. Maybe fart coin.
maybe Fartcoin.
Maybe fart coin.
Yeah.
No.
You want to transition to open up some charts for us and explain a little bit about what you're looking at, where we might be going, and some of the things you're currently working on?
Yeah, let me just format this a little nicer for everybody. I maybe am gonna show you what I look at for our cross-sectional momentum strategy. So
That'd be great.
crypto trend system, we use two strategies. They're relatively uncorrelated. So the traditional trend following, which we've been discussing, and another very proven time-tested strategy that's used a ton in traditional finance is cross-sectional momentum. And it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like a big word, right? Like what could that possibly mean? All that really means is like let's say you have 10 stocks and relative to each other, the stocks that go up compared to like the other stocks, those will continue to go up. And the stocks that go down relative to other stocks will continue to go down. So how we do it at CTS is we have instead of 20, we use the top 10 cryptos and we're always long five of them and short another five of them. And this is also volatility scaled, so we have a certain amount of risk we're willing to take for the portfolio as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And we have scores. So it's not like it's we're buying $100 of each five and selling $100 of, the shorting five. It's really like this one asset. Like recently, last few days, it's been Solana.
Mm-hmm.
It's been killing it. So we have a much larger position in Solana right now just because relative to all other nine, even though four are also like we have long positions in,
Mm-hmm.
it's just been crushing it. And
Yeah.
same with Binance actually too. That's been a killer. But I'll
Yeah.
share the screen. It's a little it's a little much for the eyes. There's a few proprietary lines and stuff on this chart, but
Mm-hmm.
I have the top five assets here above that we're currently long and the bottom five that we're short. So of the top 10 we chose for the month of August, Solana, Ethereum, Binance, ADA, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Sui, XRP, Pepe, and Bonk.
Mm-hmm.
So to put you side by side, I'm going to do the one we've been short pretty much all month versus the one that we were long all month. And you can see from, let's say, August 13th here, um, it's gone down a significant amount. And if you look at Solana, it has gone up a little bit from there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to capture basically the spread between the top five and the short five. So even if the crypto market as a whole is going up or it's going down, you're making money. That's
Mm-hmm.
the kind of idea behind the play. This is done again in traditional finance quite a bit with like all different asset classes. Um, you have any questions about it?
Not in particular right now, but is
Okay,
there
fair enough.
anything in particular, like for someone that isn't used to looking at charts,
Yes,
what if this is like a little bit overwhelming for them? What are some of the things that they should be looking at on the screen right now?
I will remove just about everything. Apologies for the mess. From there we go, and price levels. It's hidden. So if you're new to candlestick charts, the x-axis is time, the y-axis is price. This is in 30-minute bars. So each one of these guys is 30 minutes in time. So it's a pretty short time frame,
Mm-hmm.
I would say. And then you could ignore these blue lines. These are kind of just pivots I use as reference points for like some very small amount of discretionary trading that I do. Um, if you're new to charts, I would say have a look at a bunch of them. Like
Mm-hmm.
take a look at your favorite stock. Like take a look at Apple stock.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at Tesla stock. Take a look at Bitcoin,
Mm-hmm.
and just try to understand if you're interested in it, like what the high, low, and closes are, and have a look at, the direction they're taking and if they're going up, down, or if they're going sideways,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because in our system, we take the open, high, low, close, and that's how we base off all of our decisions
Mm-hmm.
for each asset is using the information that comes from these bars. It's just a nice way to visualize off it. A lot of people, they will tell you, you can draw trend lines and stuff. Like you can do, it's called technical analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Very debatable if it works or not, but people will draw trend lines and
Yeah.
do all that. That's a whole rabbit hole you can go down on. There's courses and books if you're interested in that stuff. But in the end, that's also just momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Trend following takes a much more systematic approach than, looking at a candlestick chart pattern and trading off of that. But they're still nice to reference. But we don't trade just purely off the candles.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe this is a good opportunity to like look at charts and understand like okay, you've been talking about this edge and trend. Like what
Yes, yeah,
what is it,
yes.
you know? What am I looking at that you guys have somehow like claimed is boring but works?
Yes, definitely. So I'm going to walk you through a very simple trend system right now. This one's pretty popular, right? So a moving average is essentially what it is. You take like the most recent closes of an asset.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one is going to last 50 closes, and then you take the average of it. So we'll put that one there, and then we'll duplicate it. 70. So a very simple trend system
Mm-hmm.
would be whenever it's above the 50-day moving average,
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy the crypto if it goes above the 50-day moving average.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's actually when it's below the 70-day low. That's what it is. I can't forget that up. When it's below the 70-day low,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you take your stop out. So, a very quick example. You see the price chart
Mm-hmm.
here. You see the moving average, the 50 period moving average, right? So we'll go in the depths of the bear market. We'll start here,
Yep.
right? So when the close is above the 50-day moving average, you would have a close here,
Mm-hmm.
right? You would buy it. I'll zoom in even more for everybody. So in theory, you can do this all systematically, but like automated. So you'd
Mm-hmm.
buy here, and then the 70-day low would be about here,
Mm-hmm.
and then you would get stopped. You would lose a little bit of money,
Mm-hmm.
right? Trend win rates are sub 50%. It's just that the winners are so big, they make up for the amount
Yeah.
of losers you take, right? And then, it'd be here again, you would buy, and then you would lose.
Mm-hmm.
So you continue going on. Oh, this wasn't a close above, but you'd buy here,
Yeah, right on that blue line.
right?
Yeah.
You'd pretty much buy the low in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't think maybe you get stopped out here, maybe you don't. Depends where the 70-day is, but
Mm-hmm.
16 to 19, that's not bad. And then you're buying it again here,
Mm-hmm.
and so like the close above. So you'd purchase at 24,000
Mm-hmm.
March 14th, 2013. So imagine this whole time, like you're just holding this, you're just holding this.
Mm-hmm.
You get stopped out. A couple days later, you can buy it again.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably would catch this whole move. This move might get you here, like you stopped out here. So
Mhm.
once again, you make a little bit of money,
Mhm.
maybe 2%.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then you buy again
Mhm.
here. And you catch this big move up,
Mhm.
right? Maybe you get stopped out here. Once again, you lock in, what is this? 27 to 38.
Mhm.
That's a big move. That's 33%. And
Mhm.
then you look at that, you're buying again here, and maybe you get stopped at 56,000. So this is the simplest. Like you can do
Yeah.
this at home. You
Yeah.
can trade this manually off an Excel spreadsheet if you really want to. You
Mhm.
buy the 50 moving average or even like the 50-day high,
Mhm.
and you just hold it until like the 70-day low. Like you
Yeah.
can play around with this stuff and
Mhm.
customize it, but if you want to run it
Mhm.
yourself, you can.
Yeah.
We would recommend you run it on more than one asset. Like we
Mhm.
use 20
Mhm.
because the more assets you run, the better your returns will be because you'll catch more trend.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's a simple one. That's a very rudimentary.
Yeah.
Like
That's
in
super
the
helpful.
80s, man, the turtle
Mhm.
trend traders,
Mhm.
there were a couple more rules to their system,
Mhm.
right? For like exits and like stop losses, etc.
Mhm.
But it was as simple as this, and they're one of the first to kind of like it was a lot more of an edge in the 80s for
Mhm.
like what it
Mhm.
is now in traditional finance markets.
Mhm.
And I believe that's kind of what we're seeing in crypto now,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. No, that was
But
extremely
yeah,
helpful, and I think that was a great explanation as to why. Um, and I think the last thing I would touch on to everything you just said is
yep,
like you can do this manually, but make sure not to cheat on yourself. Like if you are going to do it manually, create the system, your baseline rules, and stick to it. Don't
yep.
be like,
Yeah, you have to
don't be
follow it.
greedy. You know,
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
easy to just like kind of 70% stick to a system and then like mess everything up with the 30% of like, oh, but
All
what
it
if
takes
this
is
one?
one trade.
Yeah.
Or like imagine like this, for example, maybe you were feeling really bearish here,
Mm-hmm.
so you didn't trust the signal.
Yeah.
You
Like you've been
used a
getting
little
beat
bit,
up, you know? Yeah.
yeah, like it hasn't been working the last few months, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because you were, how long were you chilling for? It was like 5 months of just nothing. So
Mm-hmm.
you get impatient.
Mm-hmm.
You probably get burned a couple times buying the highs or something, and
Yeah.
you don't get this one.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, that's the move. That's the one.
Yeah.
And those your returns for the year was that one trade. So you have to be
Yeah.
extremely systematic about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, don't trade it on a spreadsheet and rebalance every day if you want.
Yeah.
But just make sure you follow your rules.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. I guess like
Yeah.
my last question to kind of conclude this all here is like,
Mhm.
what would you say if I was brand new, just tuning in for the first time, never heard about Trend in my life, and I just
Yeah.
listened to all of that and went like, well, if I'm gonna be that patient, why don't I just like hodl Bitcoin or hodl, my favorite
Yeah.
cryptos? Like, why if I have to wait that long, should I do Trend instead?
Definitely. Definitely. So I'll tackle Bitcoin specifically
Sure. Yeah.
first, because that's a honestly you should hold Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
You should like hold. Why not? Why
Mm-hmm.
not? The beautiful part about trend, even though we trade Bitcoin, it's relatively uncorrelated to it.
Mm-hmm.
So if Bitcoin's down, trend maybe not down,
Yeah.
right? Momentum definitely not down. Like a cross-sectional momentum definitely not down.
Mm-hmm.
And the volatility. It's like if you're just putting your whole portfolio in Bitcoin, you are subjecting yourself to wild variance and swings in your portfolio value.
Mm-hmm.
Portfolio value. Like your equity is subject to massive moves on not only a daily basis but a yearly basis.
Mm-hmm.
Like 50% give or take versus its annual returns. So if you have the stomach to hold those drawdowns,
Mm-hmm.
sure, sure, why not? But trend historically has outperformed Bitcoin and has a lower volatility and risk level.
Mm-hmm.
right? And then if you add the two together, if you really like are a Bitcoin believer,
Yeah.
the because the fact they're uncorrelated enough,
Mm-hmm.
you will boost your returns. You kind of like multiply your returns to put it very simply,
Yeah.
if you have exposure to both. And in terms of your favorite coin, like I know there's a lot of people that are big on XRP
Mm-hmm.
and ADA. I would say like the exact same thing is hold your coin,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you're putting all your eggs in one basket and you're subject to very big variance in
Mm-hmm.
your portfolio. And historically, even if you wanted to hold that one asset, you'd be better off in the long run to add some trend, add some different exposures to it. Um, it's just better for you in the long run.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Quinn. That was a beautiful way to end
Yeah,
this episode, and
perfect.
we'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for tuning into Trend Talks.